What's up, everybody? This is Smitty Werben Jaegerman Jensen coming back at you with another episode of our Daggerfall Unity Ironman Adventures playthrough. Bogard Masterson has just rolled up to the Sentinel pawn shop. We're not robbing it this time around. However, we are in quite dire straits, so I mean, financially, we're just much more poor than I remember being. I don't know how we ended up with so little money. It was actually like 150 gold or something rather than the 445 that we currently have. Whenever I checked initially, whenever I was about to start recording, but I'm like, I can't actually travel anywhere or do anything with this small amount of gold. So I'm looking through trying to find all like those assets that I need to sell that we always talk about, but I think I've already cashed all those assets in. One way or another, maybe he gambled or drank it away. I was probably just paying for stuff in previous episodes like training, which is pretty costly. So we were recently tasked by Queen Akarithy over there in the capital of Sentinel to go get a castle from... Nope, we're going to get a painting from Castle Wayrest. So we're going to go to Wayrest. Let's go find ports and go Wayrest. And it's actually quite expensive going by ship. Yeah, even if I go recklessly, it's still like 800 gold, almost 900 gold to travel safely. Yeah, so we need to sell stuff to do that. I actually had to go to the Mages Guild to identify some magical items to sell, and I didn't have enough money for that, so I came to the pawn shop to sell some random junk. I went to the Mages Guild to get a couple things identified that we can sell, and now here we are back at the pawn shop. It's all part of my master plan to go across the water, you see. I was going to start the episode after selling this stuff and just immediately sailing away, but I loved a couple of these items. I wish I could hold on to them. This one's fine, the Chainwright Spalder of Magicka, like that's fine if I were a caster. This other one, though, the Silver Dagger of the Sealed Door, this is fantastic. Like, just from a flavor perspective, I don't really want this thing. I don't think it'd be that helpful, but a more intelligent character than Bogard, who has knowledge of, I think, what is open in, is it alteration in this game? Has some knowledge of alteration, or is at least intelligent enough to be trained and attuned to this item. It's just like a really cool thing for a thief to have, right? You're running away from opposition, you close the door, and then you lock it behind you, and it's a magically held lock, so they're not going to be able to get through it. You know, that's just a... I had to start recording before selling this just because of how beautiful it is, like, as a piece of... Oh, man, I kind of want to keep it for Bogard, but I really don't think that he's interested in magical trinkets, and, like, who would he run from that he would not just, like, attack and kill, right? Or, like, at least beat into a bloody pulp. Yeah, no, I'm right. Okay, I feel better. Yeah, it's just such a cool item from, like, a flavor perspective, but alas, we need the money, and this is what we do. So... All right, we have enough money to get across the pond now. You know, I've mentioned before that we've had some destination fever lately, going from one main quest destination to the next. I was considering going back to Coegria just to get go back to our hometown with Bogard and do some Thieves Guild questing, maybe revisit some of those dungeons. But I cannot resist another, like, a dungeon romp in Castle Wayrest. I'm sure many of you who have played the game are a bit frustrated by the thought of going to Castle Wayrest, but oh, it's wintertime when we arrive. That's awesome. I have very fond memories of Castle Wayrest, and I think it's just because I like, you know, this might come as a surprise to you, but I really like the dungeons in Daggerfall. And so the dungeons that are beneath Castle Daggerfall, Castle Sentinel, Castle Wayrest, they're all unique main quest dungeons, so they're not like procedurally generated. Okay, they're procedurally generated, but there's some handcrafted elements to them. They're mostly main quest dungeons because you keep returning to them. Like, obviously I grow fond of them because I keep visiting them like an old friend. So the quality of these, they're not superior to like your regular dungeon. I think there are some puzzles thrown in there since they're main quest dungeons, and so that's cool. But nothing really stands out as like phenomenal about them besides the fact that you keep returning to them. And I like them a lot for that reason. There was one character I had where I was doing this Fighters Guild quest where it's actually this one quest in Daggerfall that feels like a quest from the later Elder Scrolls titles, in that there's more than one piece to it. You don't go just to one dungeon to get the one item and then proceed. You're basically escorting someone who gets shot by an arrow. You start investigating that, and you end up, I believe, tracking that guy, whoever the culprit is, down to Castle Wayrest. And I had a hard time finding this guy, y'all. Like, it really took me several in-game days and dungeon sessions and, like, in real life sessions at my computer to find the quest target and get out of there. But I finally pulled through. I talked to the guy. I got out of there. Turned the quest in, and then I went to Queen Akarithian Sentinel to pick up my next main quest dungeon, and was sent immediately back to Castle Wayrest. And I'm like, damn it, man, I can't shake myself of this dungeon. But you know what? I'm here for it. I really like the main quest dungeons. I actually, do I have potion of invisibility? We have one potion of shadow form, one invisibility. That should be enough, but we should make a note to buy more. I'm just gonna go ahead and, yeah, put it on my shopping list. Yeah. Invis. There we go. Yeah, because we are at this stage of the game where we're doing infiltrations that don't really make sense from a narrative perspective. It's weird that I'm hearing that sound effect for a secret door here. I wonder if we're like right above a secret door in the dungeon. But yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense from a lore perspective why like we're infiltrating their castle and everybody is okay with it. I think the game initially expected us to have like the disguise skill that got, you know, nixed was in use or something like that. And so you'd sneak past, you know, pretend like you're from Castle Wayrest and get in there. I don't know, but the way the game works is once you get seen going to those forbidden areas, people will start attacking you, right? And so you kind of have to, in my mind, you start using potions of invisibility to not trigger the opposition so much. You know, you can still maintain your cover, but it's still pretty wacky at the end of the day because, you know, somebody has to be going through opening these doors right now. Yeah, board guard says only castle staff and trusted guests are allowed beyond here. And one tricky thing about the Wayrest dungeon dive is like it's not trivial finding out where to start. There are several places to go to start your dungeon romp, but you know, little doors off to the side. I'm not even sure that I chose the right one. This one just feels right after playing the game quite a few times, you know. So we're gonna start off by, okay, we should just explore as much as we can while our potion is in effect, I guess. Then we'll go into dialogue mode and see, but these are probably knights, not like rogues or someone that Bogard can talk some sense into. Let's go into dialogue mode. We're gonna wait to appear here rather than backstabbing this person so that they can get a fair fight. Actually, okay, yeah. Hey buddy, are you a... Yeah, it uses etiquette. I'm not even gonna try to pacify the etiquette people. We're just gonna go straight to throwing fists. 26 arrows. That's huge. That is huge. Now we don't have to worry about shopping for arrows for a very, very long time. Oh, hello. Yeah, since we used invisibility to get back in here, or to get in here, we don't really have a clear escape path. I don't think we'll need to escape from anything in this dungeon, but I'm still gonna, like, you know, stomp some people around, to make sure we have a way back to the surface if we need it. And this is the... Yeah, that's where the castle starts, so we made it. You know, I was about to, like, go in here and put a little pip on my mark to say, like, hey, castle starts here, but you can just see the castle. Like, it's a... The map is actually kind of fine sometimes without needing extra markers. That's not to say you're not going to get lost in Castle Wayrest. You certainly will. But yeah, we're only just at the start. So let's go and see if we can find a little campfire to use as a checkpoint as we explore or something like that. Do we have our campsite, in fact? Yeah, we have one. The hard part about... You know, it's been like 2 weeks since I've touched this character. I don't remember what my character sheet is even like, you know, as far as stuff I need to shop for. I did a little bit of housekeeping before the episode started, but I'm not that, like, confident in what I found. Silver Greaves. We should be able to sell that for a pretty penny. Ooh, we have a lockbox. Can we get into that? Nope, we jammed it. You can try to bash your way through these if you jam the lock, but fail to pick it. Oh, we got that one. But if you bash it with a weapon, I believe it impacts the weapon's durability and it lowers your stamina each time you bash. If you bash with your fist, you straight up hurt your stamina and your health. So, not the best idea, but this is some decent loot. Got a book, a diamond, and a small pile of gold. Yeah, that's good for us. So I'm actually in some dire straits right now in real life because I don't know, something's wrong with my height adjustable desk. And normally while I'm working, it's like the same, dual monitor setup that I use when gaming. I just switch the imports to my my work stuff, and it's all fine and dandy. I'm often on my feet throughout the day just because I have this cool little ergonomic foot pad, and I've got the adjustable standing desk. Let's get some blood flow in, that sort of thing. I just prefer to stand most of the time. Anyway, I was not able to lower it most recently. So we're kind of stuck in this standing position. It makes me wish I had like a bar stool sort of chair to use once in a while, because I don't know. I've done a bit amount of unplugging, replugging, and that sort of thing. But I think it's just kind of done for. I might have to contact the manufacturer. Often, Hudson, my precious toddler, will come into my room while I'm working or something like that, and he'll come up to the desk, and if I have to do something and I can't like immediately give him the attention he's looking for, he'll start playing with the buttons of the standing desk, and I'm like, I didn't think anything of it at first. If he's just clicking one button repeatedly, I'm like, it's probably fine. My wife will scold me because she's like, he's gonna burn out the motor, yada yada yada, and I think that's kind of superstitious. I'm not sure that it actually works like that. So I've started going under my my desk and unplugging the cable that little switch is connected to whenever he does that. And since I've begun doing that, done it a few times now, the down button no longer works. And yeah, we'll see how long I can stand. It's like I'm basically waiting in line all day. Just take a break to sit down once in a while. I still typically prefer standing all day anyway, but I need the option, especially like I haven't actually done any gaming from a standing position before. It's actually more comfortable than I expected. But I'm like slightly above my microphone now, and my elbows aren't in the same position as usual. I'm sure my little reflexes will be fine, but yeah, it's a bit of an adjustment. It's just like a blow to the morale, because there are a couple of items in my house that I just love and adore. One of them is this here standing desk. All right, the other one is the folding table in my laundry room. I don't have many that I'm just super proud of besides those two. But yeah, this standing desk was a huge quality of life improvement for me whenever I got it. Let's see, nothing really. I guess I could keep the silver dagger. I'd rather be locked into, I don't know. I was just about to say I'd rather be locked into standing than locked into sitting. But I'm not so sure now that I'm on the verge of voicing that opinion. Let's see. I've been kind of on autopilot while telling that story. I can barely remember where I came from. I guess I would just follow the right-hand side until we get back. But yeah, we are in the thick of yet another main quest dungeon. It feels good to be back. My job has been super crazy lately. It's usually we have our ticket volume in my little IT support role under control, but a couple of critical things. We had some outages at the same time as a couple of people on my team were on PTO for an extended period of time. So it's like small numbers against a huge ticket volume, and we've only just now caught back up to it. But that means that times I would normally spend relaxing or perhaps recording on my lunch break have been very few and far in between. Meanwhile, just being a parent is fairly busy, but also my wife and I have been watching High Q at after our toddler goes down, and man, that show has been keeping me on my seat. It makes me think that volleyball is a cool sport. I feel like a loser for having not a loser, but I feel like I've been missing out on something. Once you actually learn the rules of a game, it's much more interesting to keep up with, obviously. My wife was really into volleyball whenever she was in high school, so she was already aware of how the game is played and things like that. But I'm kind of learning it all on the fly, watching the show and getting it explained to me from her. So I just went to Walmart and picked up like a volleyball to play with in the backyard while we were all touching grass and stuff like that. Sometimes Hudson will join in on the fun, and sometimes he's just like playing with his Tonka trucks while we do our thing. But the other day, it was my wife's anniversary, and so Hudson went to go spend the night with his grandparents while my wife and I had the house to ourselves and got to sleep in and stuff like that. Well, we didn't get to sleep in, but we got to sleep without a toddler waking up, basically. Um, but we got to play with the volleyball in the backyard uninterrupted, like, you know, for a very long time, and it was awesome. I've never really been into sports, like team sports, although I would say I'm not very athletic, but that's, I guess, not really true anymore. I just didn't really do anything athletic growing up. It's changed recently. But I was reminded while playing, just like trying to like, keep the ball off the ground while tossing it back and forth with my wife, I was reminded that sports where I get to run after stuff and hit it or catch it or kick it, like, that's just like, I totally get why humanity has tried to do that for centuries. It really makes a lot of sense. I wonder, we should probably just pack up our campfire, bring it with us in this case. We were real low on stamina, so we had to go do a pit stop there. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I'm pretty bad at volleyball. I'm just, you know, trying to get the basics of form when setting, receiving, and things like that, serving. And it's not like we're playing with a team or anything, so I don't have like the full exposure. But it is really fun to run around and whack stuff and keep the ball off the ground. And I remember one moment very fondly whenever we were having a pretty good volley, and I had to do a lot of sporadic movements to get to the ball in time, and I received the ball with like one hand and punched it back to my wife with really good accuracy, and she said, "Wow," and I was like, "Whoa." I just impressed her with her own sport well enough to get that kind of reaction. I got to chase that feeling, and so now I'm like super motivated to not be so terrible because I want the cute girl to like me. It's just like the good old days, except, you know, no friend zone involved, just straight to marriage. All right. So yeah, volleyball has been a lot of fun, and watching Haikyuu has been a lot of fun. Just anime in general has been really cool to watch. I think Dungeon Meshi is done releasing episodes for now. Had a wacky few episodes near the end of that first season. But yeah, Haikyuu has been really cool. Okay, we found our way back to the castle. Uh-oh, someone's right there. Could see us. That's what I mean whenever, like, I mentioned that there are multiple points of entry for the dungeon portion of this. It looks like there's a pretty big block right above us. Do we need to go check out that block? So like I've been through Castle Wayrest several times in the past, of course, but that does not mean that I know the way in this case. With places like Privateer's Hold, Durrani Tower, and I thought I knew Castle Necromogon pretty well, but I don't think I do. You know, I know some dungeons really well. That is not the case here. I know the ending of this dungeon relatively well. So if I get the feeling that we're in the right spot, there are some clear indicators, I guess I'm trying to say. It'll tell you, hey, you're in the right ballpark, buddy. Keep on, keep on. I don't know how to get to those clear indicators, though, so we are in it together. Little hidden door here. Oh, hello. We should consider, like, switching to our bow. Just because we want to have decent accuracy whenever fighting tougher enemies. But Bogard just wants to crack lips, you know? But Bogard is a disciplined enough warrior to know where his weaknesses are and needs to patch them up. Okay. He also knows when doors need to be kicked down. Wonder if I should go back to the surface and approach this whole infiltration from another angle. You know, like explore each possible point of entry pretty fully, but I just get the feeling. Nah, I think I'm in the right spot. We don't even have that many potions of invisibility to pretend like we're doing a stealth mission, you know? Yeah. This can't be it. Oh, let's mark on our map that we found a fire. That's cool. Okay. Kind of want to go back to that big... Oh, there's... Okay, never mind. We have plenty of uncharted territory around us. Oh no, I accidentally took the candle instead of lighting it. Yeah, besides the standing desk, I'm really fond of my folding table. Those are both the standing desk and the folding table where I do my laundry. They're such insignificant little things, you know, they're not really that... They don't seem like they'd be that important. But because I yearned for that thing for such a long time while I wasn't able to have it, you know, I was often doing laundry and folding it on the bed or folding it on a coffee table or something like that. And then it's in a way, and you know, you have to work around it. So just having a dedicated space for almost any activity is better. So even though those are mundane, like trivial things, they're just huge quality of life improvements for me. All I'm missing now is a little rod to hang up clothes on. Ooh, let's kick this person into the pit. Come on. Come on. Yeah. All right, there are 2 people that we can kick into a pit. Hell yeah. Oh, that's actually not that far. Oh, man. We dropped down into a mob and it got a little bit dicey. Wow. I did not expect to be on the back foot there. And now they're in this, like, little walkway that, you know, I dropped down unexpectedly. That's kind of cool, but inconvenient at the same time. Let's see if we can pick these guys off. They're foolishly challenging us to... Oh, okay. This would not be foolish in real life. If they were shooting at us from the high ground, this would be just like, we need to retreat. But we are playing a video game right now, so we were able to pick them off there. So even though this felt like a setback, I'm pretty sure we just dropped down right outside of where we were before. Let me see if I remember how to get back there. Am I going the wrong way? I think I am. Yeah, whenever our ticket queue was so crazy this week, I was reminded of, just because of the overwhelming odds that we were toe-to-toe against, I was reminded a little bit of Berserk, like specifically the section of the story whenever he's, you know, fighting like 100 enemies at once, which I know happens a lot, but it's like the first time where it's like guts versus 100 people. I think it's in the Golden Age arc, whenever he does that. It's like, that's how it felt, or I felt like me and the people who weren't on PTO were kind of like the guy from Doom, with like demons crawling up all around, but we're just shooting them all down. You know, just such overwhelming odds, but you persevere and you fight through it anyway. I think with almost any, you know, terrible job, it's not a terrible job, a customer service job often has terrible aspects to it. And in this case, people's like tickets were sitting unanswered for like a day because we were trying to play catch up. And people get frustrated, and it's not, you know, there are bad times even with good jobs, you know, and it's easy to like despair about it. It's easy to like blame the job itself and be pissed off that you're in that situation. But most of the situations that you face off against are helping you in one way or another, no matter how frustrating they are. And I succumb to that frustration a lot. I get really pissed off at people for how stupid they are, like on a daily basis. So I'm not going to pretend that I'm some saint. But you know, this war of attrition that we just fought the last couple of weeks teaches you patience, perseverance, and like the importance of staying the course whenever you could fold. And I'm really glad it's over, don't get me wrong. But I think in many jobs that have those feel bads moments, you know, the stress is over, feels like it could overwhelm you at any moment. You know, you're just being forged in fire, and you're gonna be better because of it at the end of it. I used to be a waiter, and even whenever I was a waiter, it's like, the job is shitty, but let's try to take pride in what you do, you know? It helps you to enjoy the job as well, because if you're just actively upset that you're working that job, and you're reminded of how much you hate the job every time you hate the job, your attitude and the job are now working against you instead of just the job. So whenever I was a waiter, I was just a really good waiter. You know, eating food is such a You know, in a world with so much despair, pain, and chaos, eating food and having a damn good meal is just a sheer like portal to happiness and satisfaction. And that's why cooking and hospitality is like it's kind of a major cultural point. Or you don't want to insult somebody by not eating food that they serve you, and feeding others, whether you're cooking for them or providing food for them, is like an act of love in a lot of ways. And so whenever I was a waiter and I was dealing with people that were treating me like garbage and things like that, you have to fight past that for the experiences you have where you are giving someone just an important part of their day, consuming one meal. Like, you want that meal to be good because you want that person to be happy. It's like, yeah, I don't need to barge that door down. I'm going the wrong way. Yeah, there are plenty of people out there that you can serve in your crappy job who are worth like the good meal that you will provide for them. They're worth the one less tech issue that is like setting them back today. You know, one guy this morning was being pretty rude and, in my opinion, borderline illiterate with my emails. So instead of like allowing myself to continue being angry at him, I just called him on Teams and we figured it out, and it was fine. You know, it's just usually people's emotions wrapped up with the whole customer service side of things. It's easy to forget that you're dealing with humans. And that you're not so different from them, and you know, it's just, you can really take pride in what you do even whenever you have a terrible job. I say that having never worked in like a factory setting, and I'm sure there are plenty of terrible jobs that are just worth abandoning. For example, I'm not a teacher anymore for very deliberate reasons. But in general, your attitude and your willingness to be shaped by your experiences into something stronger is going to make a terrible job a lot more bearable. I say that now. I think I used to have a really bad. I'll be honest. I've gotten fired from quite a few jobs before. Sometimes it was through what felt like was no fault of my own, and sometimes I kind of struggle with respecting authority because I always know better. You know. Oh dang. Do we go across here? Like we just keep funneling back to this section. I gotta mark back to castle. Okay, found a couple new places to explore. So just to, I guess, make anyone feel a bit better who gets fired over stupid shit or things that they do that are stupid, I'll share a couple of my experiences too. That, you know, you couldn't possibly be more foolish than me, right? That sort of thing. Let's see. Well, one time, whenever I was just super depressed, right after high school, I just stopped showing up to work because I didn't have the will to keep going, really. I didn't like the job. I was basically a child, had a substance abuse problem, and was having a hard time with all the probation and legislation that was weighing on me after, you know, stealing some Magic the Gathering cards from Walmart and finding a cozy little Class B misdemeanor. So I just stopped going, and that was actually a pretty poor financial decision. Okay, I have way too many arrows now. Let's drop 130 of them. Yeah, that's more tame. Yeah, apparently quitting your job without having another one lined up was a pretty poor financial decision. That's whenever I decided to like move in with my grandparents and go to college a little bit. You know, maybe others can relate to this. If you're forced into going to college and you don't have a clear like a career path in mind, it's just like that's what you do because you're from this like family that thinks it's upper middle class. You know, so this is what you do. But you don't actually have anything lined up for it. Like, you could just crash and burn at your first college attempt, and that was certainly me. I just sat home instead of going to class. Like I said, substance abuse problems were involved. I had this problem where I would I won't get too into it, but anyway, I didn't take college seriously, and so I retried it after moving in with my grandparents, and I was actually turned down from a couple of jobs there. Because of my like Class B misdemeanor, and I'm like, I really couldn't catch a break for a very long time for this really dumb thing I did whenever I was a child. And like, yeah, I would still call myself a child while I was in college, but 17 years old, I was especially just like, after teaching high school students, they don't seem like they're that far removed from the diapers they were in not too long ago. You know what I mean? And I just couldn't shake that. Like I even tried to be a tutor on campus, and they're like, "Oh no, man, you know stole magic cards whenever you were 17, so you can't teach people English." I'm like, "I'll show you who can teach people English despite their that thing, and so I eventually became an English teacher. It was fine, but before that, let's see. I worked at a Denny's, and one time this lady, whenever I was taking a to-go order out to her, like, she didn't want to walk in to get the food, and she was like, "Hey, bring it out to me." And I went, "Okay, I'll bring it out to you." And the supervisor was like, "Hey, don't bring it out to her. That's like, she needs to come in and get it. That's stupid. Why would you go out there?" And I'm like, "Okay, I'll do it." And then that lady called me and asked me to go bring out the food, and I'm like, "Well, the supervisor's not looking. Let's go do it real quick." And of course, the supervisor was standing there whenever I came back in. So I was kind of fired on the spot there. And I'm like, what the hell, man? It really wasn't a big deal either way, but it really is like a thing where I was trusting my judgment more than the supervisor's judgment. And that's just like, that's a trend in my experience. Another instance where I was unfortunately no longer employed was after being turned down from so many places. I was able to get another grocery store job, which is basically what I had whenever I was younger. Whenever I decided to not go to work anymore. Yeah, I'm safe to rest here. But I'm pretty prone to migraines, like really, really crippling migraines. They don't happen all the time. But they can be caused by like stress, sleep deprivation, or like prolonged exposure to lights. Like, I sound like a vampire right now. I get that. I really get that. But basically, the doors that were closest to or the cash register that was closest to the exit, the glass doors of the exit, faced westward toward the setting sun. And I was like, the glare from the sun would just like stabbed my eyes all evening during the hours of sunset, during that 1 or 2 hour span from twilight up through sunset. Hey, look, this guy spawned in the same room where I was sleeping. So one day this caused me to have like a really, really terrible migraine, and I didn't know what to do about it. I told my boss about it, and I was like, "Hey man, I'm gonna finish up, and after we close, I'm gonna like try to leave and like use some sick time if that's okay." And he's like, "Yeah, that's fine." So I literally like called my grandparents to pick me up because I didn't trust myself to drive the like 45-minute drive home. So Nana and Gramps come out in their car. One of them drives their car back. The other one drives me home in the other car. Like, we have to pull over so that I can vomit on the side of the road at some point. And I was just in dire straits because I was so ill from my migraine, because they're pretty violent. Anyway, next time I showed up to work, I was not allowed back at work because I forgot to pull my till and like count how much money was in it at the end of the night, which is very routine if you're just a healthy person going about like healthy things. But it just, in my anguish, I hadn't remembered that step, and I probably would have had difficulty, or at least a lot of dread, carrying it out with the migraine. And so yeah, I was pissed to have lost my job. But I was mostly, humans more than anything, almost more than anything, they crave like respect. This might be a man thing, I don't know, but respect is like water to a lot of men. And so I think what I really felt was dehumanized and disrespected. Because if somebody had called me and explained the situation and been like, "Hey, Micah, you're like, normally so good. What happened? Why didn't this happen?" If they'd like given me an opportunity to describe, "Oh, that was my mistake," and like, if you still want to fire me for it because it was like it involved money and so I could have stolen from them that night, I get it. But they didn't like try to talk to me about it and like tell me what was happening. It's just like, "Hey, just don't come back, okay?" So that was like something that really pissed me off. And I remember feeling delighted. This is like something I should probably not feel delighted about, but I remember hearing that general manager who had like fired me for that without like any word or discussion was later terminated because either he or someone under his supervision sold alcohol to a minor. And I very much delighted in that fact, which is not good. I shouldn't feel that way. That manager, while he's an absolute asshole, does not deserve economic destitution any more than I did. But yeah, I really delighted in that fact. Yeah, but I really had a bad string of jobs leading up to my experience as a teacher, which was that time I left on my own volition. That's whenever I started feeling a bit more confident in my ability to kind of succeed in whatever task I put my mind to. I succeeded at the act of teaching. I did not succeed at the act of like caring about teaching or enjoying the job, so I can qualify that some. But yeah, I'm not sure what made me want to go on those tangents, but it's good to talk about those things, I suppose. You don't really, I don't normally want to revisit those memories, which is why I think it's healthy to voice them once in a while. Because if it's a source of shame and frustration for me, maybe you have something in your past also that you can relate to there. But man, speaking of frustration, I was talking about liking Castle Wayrest so much, but now we're just like going around in circles, and we're not even fighting any difficult enemies, so that's a little bit lame. I guess it's time to use a potion of seeking. Northeast, they tell us, so we're gonna go ahead and double click. Northeast. Okay, now it's interestingly did not give us any note about elevation there. So whatever elevation we were on, probably pretty similar to where we need to be. Of course, this particular dungeon block is very, very curvy, has a lot of ups and downs and twists and turns to it. So let's find a plan for where to go before letting the potion wear off. I think we need to turn left, follow that corridor to the end, turn right, and continue. So we turn left. Gonna follow this corridor toward the end, and then continue. Yeah. Oh, northeast lower. So here's another northeast ping. That's interesting. That's like in this direction, right? Northeast is what the hell? Yeah, we might go back to the castle and choose another point of entry or something like that. But let's go a bit further and see what we find. I want to at least explore until this potion of seeking is run dry and get a few more things dropped onto my map. Okay, I did some more just mapping out with the potion of seeking. And eventually I came here to the corridor that leads back to Castle Wayrest. It just says it's west. Just generally west from here. So this is like the right elevation, but you know, it's all these blocks that I was walking around in, they really did not seem to lead where we needed to go. So I drink my other potion of invisibility. We're just gonna run through the halls here. This part feels a bit familiar with the bakery and all that. But I think, yeah, this is just a storage room. Okay, we're just gonna hop down. What, they're seeing me, or? Yeah, it's not a potion of invisibility I used, it's the other one, potion of shadow form, so it's possible that they still see you if you're close up. I don't... Okay, potion wore off anyway, so we're doing this live. Getting into a brawl with the guard down here. Oh no, I committed a crime against the court, that sucks. And yet, would we have it any differently? It's a bummer though. Let's see if it's worth it at least. We're on the right track. And, okay. We're in the carniceria, or I don't know, that's not the right word. We're in the butchery. Throw all the animal parts here. I don't even know what to call it. It's kind of cute though that they, like, this is the one instance of the Daggerfall developers, like, actually thinking about what logically would exist in the castle and adding it. It doesn't happen often, but it's cool whenever it does. So we're out of our evasion potions that would keep us like invisible in these infiltrations, so I guess we're just doing it. She doesn't seem angry at me. I'm sure the guards will come after me once we're back out. So we'll just have to be very careful and deliberate about how we explore. We need to still go west, I think, so we're gonna just poke our heads this way. Alright, yeah, we're back. Oh, this isn't right, though, because this is a tiny room. Just give this person one punch before leaving. Alright, this feels different, at least. Oh, this feels familiar. This little corridor here feels very familiar. It's like very odd as far as Daggerfall hallways is concerned, and I think it only exists in this one kind of dungeon block. There are a couple variations of it though. Like this one was pretty short, right? Yeah, often this will take you like up in elevation. I don't know. Still, good to be exploring someplace different rather than just going in circles at that last in those other dungeon blocks. Is there another one? Maybe we should practice our archery here for real. I said it last time and then we barely even touched our bow. We have a pretty new one to use, right? This one, I believe it's a mithril. Yeah, because the one we were using in the line of duty snapped in our hands. It's pretty cool. Using your tool until it absolutely can't take it anymore feels badass. Whether it's a bow or a sword or a baseball bat, just like breaking something as you're using it because of how intense you are. Like, I know it just broke because it's weak. I get it, but that's how it feels. Oh man, I keep picking up these huge bundles of arrows. Let's drop 34 this time. Yeah. This person had a pretty detailed head. Can't see them while their head's on their shoulders, but... Oh man, is this another dead end? Let's go ahead and rest while we're here. At the beginning of this episode, I talked about how excited I am. Notice someone is slowly gaining on you. What is that about? Yeah, I was talking about how much I love Castle Wayrest, and now I'm just all turned around. But we got a level up. That's pretty cool. What do we even level up at this point? Endurance, strength, speed, and let's just make it a clean 80 right there in speed. Our health is up at... We passed 200. We're at 217. That's really good. We got 18. Attempt to hide from the bounty hunter. No, I have stuff to do here. Okay. Oh man, we're under arrest for criminal conspiracy. Do we bribe the guard? No, and we don't surrender either. I'm gonna get that painting whether you have to, you know, bribe for my cold dead hands. This is gonna make this a lot more difficult on us, I think. If we have to, we can, you know, I think our anchor is set on top of Castle Wayrest. Yeah, so if we have to, we can warp to the top of Castle Wayrest. Man, it's gonna be difficult to get some sleep in this situation. So the War Mash's Bounty Hunters expansion is what caused these guys to come after me. Well, that's part of it. Oh no, don't bribe the guard, don't surrender. He looks pretty cool. They have like a special sprite that Kamer made. You won't take me alive. Man, it's not supposed to be like this. I just came here for the damn painting. Man, this guy has a lot of health. Oh wow, we're getting halted even down here. Okay, let's chug a potion of Heal True and kick ourselves into gear. Man, this is bad. We got Johnny Law on our tails in the middle of a dungeon. That's never good, man. I saw this narrow corridor and I really thought that was the way to go. Oh, that doesn't have anything to do with my arrest, though. Okay, where else can we try? Is there anywhere else? I think this whole part of the dungeon was a gigantic blunder. Because, unless this is a this is a teleporter. Okay. Okay, I feel better now. Alright, warrior down. Yeah, teleporters in main quest dungeons are almost always a good sign that you're on the right track. Man, it's so hard to like actually use the bow for level up purposes and train and stuff like that whenever you just want to punch everybody's helmets into their teeth. Okay. Hey, first try on that lockpick. Pretty good. Oh, it's a dead end. Fantastic. Oh, man. Gotta lock up your nothings once in a while. Having the guards, oh man, it's criminal conspiracy too. Maybe we'll, oh, cooked fish, that's good. And we have some apples. I'm not hungry enough for that. Yeah, criminal conspiracy is a big one. That's like they couldn't peg you for any certain crime. You're just guilty of a ton of stuff. Let's go ahead and book them. I think once you're at a certain range of negative threshold with the region, you're just like, we don't even charge you for anything. You're just we're gonna get you now. And I think even if I were to surrender to the guards, like that wouldn't change. I'm essentially like, or effectively in exile. I think if that's how it works. It's an interesting room, by the way. It's kind of like a throne room, but in a dungeon beneath Castle Wayrest. That in a room that's shaped like a house. You know, like what exactly is going on here? Okay. There's another teleporter, wasn't there? Yeah. Yeah, and this one has a lever in it, which makes it especially promising. Flipping levers in dungeons is typically a good thing. Okay, yeah. Oh, dude, that was a bad misclick. I still have one more potion of teleport, but, like, that's awful. Isn't that the second time I've used a potion of teleport whenever I went to, like, go use oil? Okay, I'm just gonna put potions of teleport on my shopping list. How terrible would it be if I didn't, like, if I didn't have extras of that and I was actually needing to warp out of there? This would really, like, put a damper on things. Okay, it sounds like we gotta, oh, hold on. Be disciplined. Let's mark that there's a campfire here. Okay, this is the corridor I was thinking of, where it kind of like a staircase. We have a little lever. Levers in dungeons are good. You should activate those. Hup, 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 hup. Okay. Yeah, I'm feeling optimistic about it. Yeah, so my uploads have been kind of sporadic because previously where I would record during the week, I now don't have the opportunity or, you know, schedule life stuff. So this creates a dilemma for me because, like, anytime I play Daggerfall, I want to record it, but I can only record stuff at times whenever, like, it's opportune for me to record. So, you know, a time when Hudson's awake, that's not a good time to record because he, you know, might barge in or, like, yell or scream, things like that. You know, the time whenever I can record is pretty narrow in scope. So this makes it hard for me to make videos that aren't this, because like I always just want to record myself playing Daggerfall, and then it takes a while to, not very long for this, but there's some trimming and editing involved, and then just like rendering and uploading kind of takes a minute. But I have like a couple other ideas of videos I want to make that don't necessarily fall into my general, like, other discussion videos that you'd see on my channel. But there's something kind of new and experimental. I don't want to say too much, but the point is, it's like I have the idea of the video, but when will I ever have time to actually try it? We'll see. We will see. Because it's very hard to motivate myself to, like, do this instead of spending time with my family, you know? And so I think those other things I want to try might just be on the back burner kind of interminably. Or maybe I'll try them out after I finish Daggerfall with this character, because it's starting. I don't want to be too cocky. I don't want to jinx it. But Bogart's looking pretty good right now. Legal issues aside, he's looking pretty good. Just the HP pool. He's hitting things. Okay, we're fighting weak enemies right now, but he's hitting things reliably. We'll see if that stays true whenever we have to actually pick fights with Daedras and fire Daedroths and stuff like that. But if I cleared the game with the bandit that didn't use magic, I'm pretty confident I can clear the game with this guy also. Feeling good. Alright. Bear with us, y'all. Just a Daggerfall door. And this is one I can't really... It's not a door I can ignore. It might be look like a chore, and it might be a bit of a bore, but we really need to bash that door and see what that path has in store. I say as I turn around and walk away, but no, I really need to try it. I had to stop recording there just so I could wiggle the right mouse button and whack this thing until it finally caved in like 2 or 3 minutes later. I was actually doom scrolling on my phone while getting through this door, so let me just say I love Daggerfall, but I acknowledge its flaws, and that was not a very fun gameplay experience. But look, this room had a teleporter, so that's good. Hello. Wait, there's already a body here. Is this like a thief type that she was fighting with, or have I been here before? Because it's kind of... Oh man, I just got put on a loop. Okay, I think we went... What? Let's rest a little bit. It wouldn't hurt to top off. Okay, did we go up the stairs? I think we went up the stairs because I said hup, hup, hup so much. I wouldn't say hup, hup, hup if I was going downstairs, trust me. I'm not that kind of hup, hup, hup while going downstairs kind of guy, you know what I mean? Don't take me for a fool. Ah, damn it. Took the torch instead of lighting it again. I don't even know how I keep ending up in steel mode. Not even trying to loot the bodies at this point. Oh, hello. Trying to get through here expeditiously. You know, we have another potion of seeking. Wow, hello. We're getting kind of swarmed here. Okay. Let's hide around the corner. Not only does it look cool to fight them like this, but they'll kind of start moving in closer to melee range. Oh, this fire was already lit up. I wonder if it's because there were these ladies in the hallway. It makes you wonder why there are so many, you know, Wayrest personnel this far underground. You know, and the trick there is to not think about it too much because we are playing video game right now. And sometimes the things just have to happen for the video game to work. Dwarven longsword. Will I get some money for that? We'll see. Is that... Yeah, our speed isn't impacted yet, so we might as well pick it up. A rare symbol. It's actually not that valuable, so we'll just take the gold. Okay. Okay, we're very close to maybe downing another potion, because we found a couple of things that... a potion of seeking, I mean. Or is it right here? No, okay. I was very optimistic about that corner, if you couldn't tell. This door is locked, so it looks like we're down for another brawl. Hallway brawlway. Trying to run away and eventually come to, like, what is essentially a dead end until we get rid of these enemies. It's a really cool trope whenever that happens. You know, like someone's running from the cops and they run down an alley where there's a fence. This is kind of a similar situation. Yeah, I'm quite fond of the trope. It's nice whenever, like, I like that escaping is a tactic that you use a lot in Daggerfall, but it is cool whenever the game forces you to, like, hold your ground some. Okay, they're weakened enough. I'm just gonna swoop in and start busting face. And speaking of busting faces, our poor little man Hudson, he had a pretty bad split lip earlier this week because he fell down while he was at the aquarium, and like I guess he bit his upper lip. And the floor is made of stone, so it's a little bit dangerous anyway. But yeah, you feel bad for the guy. Like, it's been a long time since I've had like a good injury like that. And whenever you're a kid, you bust lips and you split knees all the time, and it does not seem fun. Whenever you're so far removed from your childhood, perhaps it's easy to forget like what that was like. But yeah, he does not make it seem very desirable. And it's especially bad because it's my boy, man. He's like perfect little dude. Why are bad things happening to him? It better not happen ever again. No bad things for my child, okay? Thank you. So he's been... Part of why he's been kind of needy at night is he's just, like, in a bunch of pain. The whole family was, like, also sick last week, so that doesn't help. Having a child with a fever is no fun for anyone. Oh yeah, I was kind of sick at work while we were so short-staffed, so I was, like, really wanting to take a sick day just to take it easy and rest. Yeah, we found a spot. This is one of those spots. Finishing up that thought. Really wanted to take a sick day at work, but I couldn't. Like, I didn't want to let my team down any further, and I wasn't that sick. You know, if I was actually like, if I had a migraine, it would be a different thing. But it wasn't that bad. Okay, this block here is very indicative that you are on the right track, and we want this little gap right here. If you can look on my map, like, yeah, that little gap indicates a little chute underwater that we want to go crawl through. The tricky thing is, like, mechanically making that whole crawl through work. We're also going to be wet. Like, climates and calories is going to call us wet whenever we get through it. And I might need to use a potion of levitation to get off the ground once we're through. So, with all this in mind, let's refuel our lantern because it's going to stay lit underwater. Video game logic. And we're going to jump down. Try to not get killed by the slaughterfish. Okay, we're carrying too much to stay afloat, but that doesn't affect our levitation. All right, and we're through it. That part can be, like, really, really tricky. You know, on your first go around, whenever you just now find the path after, like, hours and hours of searching, and the slaughterfish are on your ass, or maybe drake, whatever they're called. Yeah, they might be tougher enemies. Oh, if you're in the right range, you might see a Lamia or Lamia, whatever they're called. Oh, it should be interesting. Oh yeah, it's definitely okay. Yeah, climates and calories really wants me to rest here. There are enemies nearby. I'm gonna have a hard time fighting the enemies while I'm levitating. Can't bob and weave nearly as successfully. Oh, hello, enemy. Oh, dude, this sucks. Okay, we're free. Yeah, this is climates and calories going through here is kind of imposing a lose condition on me because I'm so cold. Like, I could run out of stamina. I have potions, but if I don't finish off these enemies soon, it could be bad. I think we'll be fine, personally. I'm not trying to create fake tension. But it's always a bit dicey whenever you're, like, worried about your stamina bar. Okay. There is technically one more enemy around the corner. I wonder if I can get away with resting here, but that doesn't seem very realistic. And also, this person's completely trapped in this coffin, doing a great job. We're going to go ahead and put her 6 feet under while we're here. And we'll save money because her coffin is already, you know, it's paid for. Paid in full. Yeah, our attacks are slower because we're cold. Okay. Yeah, we need to make camp now. Oh, let's make sure we can rest here. Okay, it said the temperature is too extreme, but that was not an enemy message, so we should be okay. All right, we're drying off. We're good. We're good. I told you we were fine. What were you worried about? Come on, man. Now there are enemies nearby. Is it the bounty hunters? I need to be able to pick up my campfire. We're extremely close to the end, though, so that's cool. Oh, a holy tome. That's some good loot right there. So yeah, we're like an enemy of the state and everything, but we got some pretty good loot out of it. We're still getting enemies are nearby message. That's really weird because, like, we were able to sleep. Try different angles. That's a bit frustrating. Let's go ahead and mark campfire. Let's mosey, folks. Like, we'll just, okay. Camp fire. Adding that to my my list of purchases to make. Okay, so we couldn't get through this important part earlier because of the way it's set up. You see this really weird window? It's like you gotta crouch jump to get through it. You can't. I don't think you can crouch while levitating. Okay, we did it. We did it. Oh, this is gonna be cool. Oh man, I wish I had my campfire so I could get fully rested, but we do have a lot of potions. Kind of an amount of potions that makes things too safe for me. You know, if you're too safe and you don't have any risk of danger or failure, then it really takes away some of the excitement. But we don't need to go this way. We need to go around here. Yeah, I always like the showdown that comes at the end. Does not unlock. So it'd be nice to be able to heal up before the showdown, but it's more showdown-y if you don't get to heal up, so that's fine. I think it's kind of fitting with everybody pissed off at us because, you know, we're enemies of the state now. It's very fitting to just fight tooth and nail to get the painting and get out of here. Is it? I feel like we're close. Okay. Alright, save for crash prevention and get in there. Yeah, this is it. We got a couple warriors holding down the chokehold. I don't care. We'll boot them out of the way. Not the chokehold, the choke point. Okay. Oh, my brigading gloves dried. They broke. That's unfortunate. I feel like we shouldn't be spending too much time in enemies' inventories right now, so let's just go ahead and move on to up here. Alright, we got the painting. Now, the sensible thing to do is escape, right? But these bastards, they caught me in the act, being an agent of Sentinel, and damn it, I'm not gonna let them, you know, live to tell the tale. We have plenty of potions of healing, so it's just go ahead and burn one instead of risking it. Yeah, I love whenever you get to fight mobs. It's not often that it happens in this game. Ralzar's mod helps it happen, of course. But mobs of just like humanoid enemies, it's really cool whenever you get to take them all down. Alright, who's next? Ow. Alright. Anyone else? I wonder where I feel somewhat bad. Whoa, potion of cure poison. Sign me up. Remix? Okay. Now, I'm not usually an advocate for this kind of behavior, or rather, it doesn't usually happen with my characters because they don't use magic, but considering the fact that we are enemies of the state... Ah! I misclicked. Dude. I can't believe I misclicked on the potion of teleport right there. That really sucks. It's a big blow to morale, so we're just... I'll trim some stuff out because I'm just gonna walk my ass out, but pointing out that I have to make a detour to pick up my campfire because now I'm not getting that, you know, there are enemies nearby message. And if I had for some reason forgotten to pick this up, then the cold from the water could have seriously killed me for this part. Man, I'm getting put through the ringer with the whole teleportation section of this dungeon. It's like I know that it counts for the fact that if you don't have recall up, you'll have to find another way back. I know it does. We just have to find the way. And there's like a point where it returns you. Yeah, is it this? Yeah, I hear that's a good sign. I'm hearing some halts. Does that mean that we're close to yeah, this looks pretty familiar. Okay. Oh yeah. Hell yeah, kicked that person to their death down a little pit. That's awesome. Peak gaming. Alright, nothing there. And okay. We made it back to the hub, back to the castle area. Now we just gotta fight our way out of here. This guy isn't attacking me, so I'll just go ahead and do the honors, because I feel like he really should be. Surely, like all the guards, yeah, committed crimes against the court. Tell me about it, buddy. I had no choice. I was out of invisibility potions. Does this connect back to the castle itself, though? Because that's a dead end, right? Oh, hello, everyone. Up here. Okay. Ugh. Okay. I feel like they should be coming after me, but that's okay. Let's just dip on out of here. Oh, nice. Into the cover of night. This is actually kind of not nice because, yeah, the gates are going to be closed, so we cannot ride off into the sunset just yet. It's okay. I mean, we can just loiter somewhere, but like our cloak is almost out. We're gonna be, yeah, we need some better gear than this. We're gonna survive the harsh, cold winter here. Is it still open? Yeah, this general store is still open. Okay, what you got for me? I actually have a shirt, so I'll just... don't I have a non-magic shirt? Yeah. Could really use a cloak. Let's buy some food for the road. Okay, thanks, bud. Thanks for nothing. Oh man, in the eyes of the law of Wayrest, you are hated. That's pretty satisfying. Okay. Although it's a bit unfortunate. Like I'm not sure how this is going to impact how the main quest plays out, but we already did Morgaia's proposal. I'm trying to think of whether or not there are any main quest, like required quests that I'm locking myself out of with negative reputation here. But you know, so be it. So be it. We'll find our way through it if that happens to us. Okay, this pawn shop is open. Let's buy some bandages. Yep. Hey man, you got like a really thick cloak. It's so cold out there. Oh, we got to buy new camping equipment. All right. Cross that off our list. Okay, leather fur jerkin. That will help us survive in the cold. Yeah, I'll take it. Okay, I don't think that's going to necessarily cut it for everything we need to survive. Okay, got a little bit of gold from selling dwarven armor. Okay, come on. I just need a general store. Okay, good. This one does not look like it will have many shelves. Long sleeve shirt could be good. I mean, I could just like fast travel away from Wayrest, but that doesn't feel right, you know? Especially like I'm hated, you know? I'm a fugitive. I want to be on the run. Let's see what this says. You should wear thicker clothes or a second cloak. Okay. Evidently it's late, but not so late that all the shops are closed. So we're not totally out of luck for getting clothes that will keep us warm. Come on. Okay, no, those are robes. Hold up, hold on, I might just be dumb. I might just be dumb. Okay. I have the second cloak, y'all. Let's, see if there's any more food that we might want. Yeah, it's lame because I want to, like, run away into the night now, but the fact that we can't escape with our horse, good old Queen of Cans and Jars, makes it a little bit unfortunate, so... what time is it? 6:24. We only just barely missed it. Okay. Well, we're going to go to this tavern. We're gonna just try to not get arrested while we're here. Permanently deleted. Yeah. Okay. No anchor. Sad face. Gotta make sure to update my notes. That way I don't think I have like a a current anchor to escape to. Let's get some pricey food. Get some ale in us. Get a room for a day. Another ale. And now we're going to rest for about 12 hours because we just want the city gates to be open. Hopefully we don't get arrested in our sleep. If I could, I'd pay somebody to watch me while okay, that sounds weird. I would pay. Oh, here they are. Okay. Pretend to bribe the guard. No. Surrender. No. Oh wow, this is that's a lot of guards. I'm afraid we have to bust out Gorgo's Sandals of Speed. Holy shit. Wow, this is so many. Feel true. And we can't teleport because of my misclicks. Okay, potion of healing, potion of healing, potion of healing. Oh, we went the wrong way to get to the entrance. Oh my gosh, dude. Well, I wanted the Fugitive experience. It makes sense that we'd totally get surrounded in the inn upon waking up. That was actually really cool. Wow. I'm really glad we made it out of there alive. I was honestly feeling that same dread as I felt with Kirstia whenever she got hit once and I like had to stop playing. That sucks, you know. That's what I'm all about, but that also sucks whenever it happens to you. Completely cut off from escape because we didn't have any way of teleporting out. But one of the reasons I wanted to use the yeah, let's go to where should we go to make our escape? Are there any other ports? Yeah, we're gonna just go to the Eternal Prophet of Akatosh and hope that word hasn't reached them that we are a fugitive. Anyway, one of the reasons why I wanted to use see a figure headed your way. A knight appears from the east and waves you down. Hey, I'm looking for an outlaw around this area, a cat burglar who's been causing chaos in the nearby villages. His name is... Not knowing the man in question, you shake your head. Very well, may Akatosh bless you. Man, I would be bugging out if that was me. Bounty hunters coming after somebody who's not me, though. That's pretty good. Anyway, we were really cut off there and like trapped in a narrow corridor with like 10 guards, and so I was like, maybe the boots of speed or the sandals of speed will... Oh, dang it. Fell into the ocean here. They allow us to do more DPS, but it also applies the knockback effect enough for us to squeeze through those corridors. Thankfully, we just have an absurd amount of potions too, so like our HP would not be in danger as long as we keep an eye on it and don't let ourselves get you know, too cornered. That was a cool way to end our little adventure in Wayrest, though. Okay, this place is labeled as a port, even though it's just this tiny little temple. They must have a dock or something like that. So I'm gonna pay them copious amounts of money to get me out of here expeditiously. Returning from our mission back to Sentinel, seems like an appropriate time to use reckless ship travel. Oh, I should have saved before. Oh no, that sound meant we used an extra, you know, use of our favorite magical item. Okay. They're just used. That's fine. We've used them in an emergency situation. We should have unequipped them there, but whatever. Let's go ahead and put on our... Oh, let's unequip the cloak and, like, all the heavy stuff. Get rid of all this old food. Oh, we should have some shoes. Yeah, there they go. Okay, y'all. We made it to Sentinel safely. I honestly... That was difficult. You know, navigating the dungeon was difficult. Escaping the guards was difficult. All things considered, though, I could not ask for a better visit to Castle Wayrest for our Bogart here. Because, like, while we're not super immoral as characters, we need some enemies. Like, we really need some enemies. So that was cool. You know, I was trying to get away from the city so I could rest, but I might as well just loiter for a bit. I've had a lot of stop and go in my recording, so I wondered how long we've even been going here. Let's check our temperature. I should dress lighter. Sure. Go back to shirtless. Let's ditch the bow even, so we're just have our fisticuffs ready. And let's go talk to Queen Akorithi, but first, let's see what all this fuss about the painting was about now that we're somewhere safe. The scene in the painting shifts and twists. You can clearly see the inside of a tent. Several men in the library of Wayrest are intensely debating with a man bearing the coat of arms of Daggerfall. One of the men of Wayrest slips behind the Daggerfall man, draws a dagger, and casually slides it between his ribs. The image fades as the life ebbs from his body. Alright, disturbing little view of what's looks to be some act of treachery or murder. I wonder if anybody got murdered, like, or was killed and, like, wants vengeance in this game. I'm honestly not sure. Maybe we should go to Daggerfall at night and see. Oh man, we're almost out of stamina. Should be okay because we're in a town. You know, what a fun little romp in Wayrest. I can't get over how cool that was. It seems like if we're, you know, naturally aligned to any of the three major powers, we're leaning towards Sentinel now. Not that there's anything wrong with Daggerfall, we've just really enjoyed our time here. And Wayrest is clearly out of the picture. Her shaking her head at me like she knows that I just committed a bunch of crimes. I don't know if I have the stamina to climb up the elevator shaft, but who could resist? Not only do I just like the act of climbing, like in real life and in this video game, but also like I don't want to touch an elevator in this game unless I absolutely have to. It's so easy if you're caught beneath one to let that kill you, that I'd rather just not even humor the idea of touching a lever that could somehow lead to the misclick that kills me, you know? Okay. Here's your 844 gold pieces, thanks. Did you attempt to use the painting? Oh man. Are we smart enough to... No, of course not. Excellent. Its properties are inappropriate for those not of royal blood. You have shown yourself to be not only loyal, but also obedient. Yeah, whatever. Great. Another job done. Oh, we showed up to talk to the queen while completely shirtless. That's Bogart for you. Okay, yeah, we might as well just put on... Yeah, just a little something. Make it a little less chilly in this here castle. Alright, and it seems like our little Sentinel arc is just about wrapped up for now. Because we've done a lot of main quest grinding. I think it's time we get back to our roots some and hire a boat to take us back to Coegria. What time, or what part of the year? Sun's Dawn. Sun's Dawn is about February, so it's going to be chilly whenever we get to Daggerfall or Coegria, to High Rock. We have a couple of cloaks. They're both still alive. This one's casual cloak's battered. Let's just drop it. Drop it right here in the middle of the palace. Who cares? Is that moldy food? Yeah, moldy apple. Let's get rid of that here in the palace as well. A recipe? We don't really... I'm not going to be using that, and I don't think you can really sell it. Alright. Oh, I pressed the wrong button and went to the third-person portrait. Alright, there we are. I feel like we should do a little bit of housekeeping before... Oh, I'm still in third person. Okay. I feel like we should do a little bit of housekeeping before we head toward Coegria. We got a couple of potions that we're missing, thanks to, like, the most misclicks I've ever had in this game were completely out of potions of teleport. I think at least 2 of those got killed just by my misclicks, so that's a little bit pathetic. Let's hope that doesn't happen in a way that is extremely consequential. Like, yeah, we could have gotten hurt whenever those guards pinned us down, and things like that. But it wasn't that bad this time. But I can foresee many situations where we're trying to press the panic button to escape a lethal situation, and like misclicking there, it would just be the death of us, plain and simple. Let's go ahead and we're just so low on stamina that I think we're going to drink a beer. Let's get some... Oh, it's oatmeal with berries time. I didn't realize it was morning. Alright, let's play with our inventory some and then set sail. So I was gonna do all the shopping stuff off screen, but this is uncanny. Look at this one shelf in the alchemy shop. We've got one potion of teleport. That's half of what we need there. Potion of heal true, and 2 potions of invisibility, which we could have used at the start of this episode, but they're still good to have. We're rich enough to pick up a potion of resist shock also, and that's... let's get the resist fire also. Yeah, those will be helpful if we end up having to, cross paths with ancient vampires, liches, things of that nature. Will just... their spells can blow you out the water, and I really don't want to get caught off guard by something like that. Oh man, the auto run button, it makes you sprint through town, and that's just... I'm gonna end up trampling somebody, and then my reputation's gonna be bad here also, which would really suck. So we're going to see how things develop, but I'm kind of torn about which of the 3 powers of the Iliac Bay Bogard should really be lined up with. Micah, the player, really likes Sentinel, the region, a lot, but we're playing someone from High Rock, so maybe it could make sense for him to have a preference toward Daggerfall, but maybe he doesn't care about the whole nationality thing. I wonder if he's I wonder if Bogard's a native of Coagria. That's kind of how we're playing it, but not necessarily the case. That's certainly where I want to put down roots for him. Okay, we're getting to the point where we're starting to have too many potions of non-essential. Oh, we have a surplus of essential things, but whenever you see stacks of potions of healed true and you just have so much money to spend, who could resist free action? I'm gonna regret it later, but let's just go ahead and buy it all. Yep. We have a lot of heavy stuff to sell, so we do actually want to liquidate some of this. And getting increase a little bit better gauntlets would be cool, since we're moving on from one story arc to the next, so to speak. But yeah, let's go ahead and sell. Got silver greaves, silver short sword, dwarven stuff, and I think we want to keep the leather fur jerkin for whenever it's chilly up north. In fact, if you have some other... No? Okay. We actually came out pretty low on arrows there. I'm comfortable at 30. I think 30 is a good amount. Maybe 36. That's 3 dozen. Okay, okay, we got fur stuff for the shoulders. That's good. Don't want it now, but probably be useful across the pond. Yeah, it's just we've been doing so much main quest grinding. I want to get back to the well, one, to our factions. Let's see, affiliations. Yeah, our rank's still okay. Haven't really done much in the Thieves Guild or the Fighters Guild, so maybe we'll get to rectify that. But I remember trying. It's not for lack of trying. We just got some really bad luck with the dungeons that we were sent to. But besides all that, a cool thing about Coagria is we already have a couple of dungeons on our map. So while we're traveling around overland, we can sort of make pit stops at dungeons and see if we're strong enough to face them this time around, that sort of thing. Oh man, our brigandine gloves are actually broken, so yeah, getting new armor here is actually pretty pivotal. And yeah, if we have to, we'll slow down and just pay for repairs. We have a little bit of surplus, but I don't know if I'm about that, We could be greedy about it and just hope to get good gauntlets. We haven't had a ton of near-death experiences lately. I mean, that's famous last words, of course. Besides our run-in with the guards, which was pretty self-inflicted. Man, we are hated in Wayrest. Gotta love it. Alright, Queen. I think we have everything that we were going to have from Sentinel. We hit every potion shop. So yeah, now it's just... let's go ahead and... Yeah, let's save. Why not? Going across the pond back to good old Coegria. Where should we start? Yeah, we're gonna have to go to Coegria itself. Unless we want to land at this little port called Stockbrone in the region of Boreane. That could be cool if there's like a dungeon down here in the southwest that we want to go to. Anything come to mind? I don't think so. Alright, we're just going to Coegria. Where's the port? Hold up. I'm doing this wrong. Sometimes I mess with the filters to my detriment. Okay, we can just take our time going across the pond this time. We have the money for it. Feels pretty good. A young courier dryly hands you a letter and then stalks off without saying a word. Alright, what do we got here? Dear Bogard Masterton, Queen Aquarithia of Sentinel spoke highly of you as a brave, able, and unprejudiced Breton. Her actual words were, a hero. For some time, we have been looking for someone like that. I will not lie to you about our loyalties. We serve the Underking. If you are a believer in fairy tales and consider the Underking the ultimate force of evil, we apologize for misjudging you. Otherwise, we need your help. You can find me at the Moorhard Resident in the Savage Guard Inn in Sentinel. I will wait 1 month. Okay, well, here I was thinking that we were taking a break from the main quest, but it looks like this one has a time limit, and yeah, so I think we'll still be able to get some guild questing done. Maybe not right this second, but I mean, we do have a month to go talk to him. We only just now got here, so perhaps we should take some time to settle in. I still want some new gauntlets. But I should have paid more attention. How long did it take for us to get here from Sentinel? We did travel by ship, so it shouldn't have been that bad. So we have a month to go talk to the guy in Sentinel, which would be, yep, 12 days, damn. That's one thing just to get to Sentinel, but we also have to go to the Savage something Inn. The Savage Guard Inn. Where are we at? Savage Guard Inn. Okay, it's not super far, so we could travel to Sentinel. It takes 12 days, and then we could travel just by road, which I think would be fun, to get to the other spot within like 2 days, and then we meet our contact from the Underking, which will be exciting. I don't know how much... have we chatted with the folks for the Underking? I think they're who gave us the bit of intel about Prince Lotun. Or Lotun's brother, I should say. Man, that's a bit of a... on the one hand, I'm a bit bummed out that we are being called into the line of duty again. But on the other, like, I know for a fact, like, I know what quest I'm about to go on, and I'm pumped. Really like the dungeon that they're sending us to. Am I too chilly right now? Should wear thicker clothes or a second cloak? Okay. Let's put this stuff on. How are we feeling now? Okay. Don't need 2 formal cloaks or anything like that. Just a bit of fur armor and a regular cloak will do. But man, we can't find the... Let's get 1 potion of levitation, because I know we burned 1. We burned 2, actually. Water walking? I feel like we probably already have that. It's not super essential. Okay. Potion of teleport would be great. We are so back, bros. Look at this. Potion of teleport. What's go? What's up? Let's go. Okay. We got that. Wonder where we leave our anchor. We are in Coegria. This is kind of like a home base for us, but do we have just those 2, right? All right, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and just do it here. It's always fun to leave an anchor on a roof whenever you can. Oh, this is a pretty tall roof. The weather is freezing. Don't say. Alright, I'm gonna have to dress more heavily regardless, but let's go ahead and Potion of Teleport. We are setting our anchor intentionally this time. Okay, let's delete that note. Anchor, Coegria, on a rooftop, baby. Alright. So what do you say? There we go. That was a good little rooftop jump. What do you say we go check out the Thieves Guild and see what they have for us? It's been a while, and I would really like to get to the point where they can provide maps to me. Dungeon maps of the region and stuff like that. I think we have a ways to go before we get there, but how cool would that be? I know I'm always talking about how beautiful winter is in Daggerfall, but it reminds me a little bit. In my Q&A episode, we discussed a little bit of music, and yeah, thanks again to everybody who participated in that. It was a lot of fun chatting with y'all there. But yeah, I found a little bit, maybe tell me if this happens for you, but I tend to listen to music kind of according to the seasons. I've tried to talk about it with a couple of people, but they're like, didn't seem to relate. But it's a very hot springtime for us, and so I've been listening to like, well, the Fishmans on repeat, but you'll find I'm more likely to listen to something like Fishman's Streetlight Manifesto or Sublime, anything that has like a ska or reggae aesthetic to it. It's like, it feels much, much better whenever the heat is pounding down on you. It lets you enjoy the heat a little bit whenever you cultivate an aesthetic around it, I think, or appreciate the aesthetic around it. We're gonna go ahead and get this quest, by the way. Hey, keep your voice down. My name is just call me Dunister Gerhardt. I have a guild job for you. Standard pay. Are you interested? Let's do it. Okay, you need to steal the formal cloak from the Morford residence in the Greensley plantation. You have 5 days or the deal is off. Did I mention the place is guarded? Could have sworn I said so. Alright, I'll do your bidding, bud. Do your dirty work. Oh yeah, that reminds me, Steely Dan. I must have been sleeping on Steely Dan my whole life. Everybody knows about Steely Dan from the that song that's in Guitar Hero. But more and more they come up in my like Spotify daily mixes and stuff like that, and I'm like, oh man, where have they been my whole life? I have 2 camping equipment. I wonder what that's about. I probably just bought one whenever I thought that I left it. Trying to find good old sugar lumps here. Oh man, this is awful. Man, I couldn't find my sugar lumps to save my life. I just went and bought some new ones. Thankfully, I tracked down the horse. I thought maybe we traveled without her or something like that, but it didn't come to that, thankfully. But yeah, once I realized that I started listening to music seasonally, it became easier to be a bit more intentional about what I'm listening to throughout the years. Like I would notice the pattern that pops up, and I mentioned Fishman's as kind of like a summertime or hot spring kind of artist, but really it just depends on the time of the year. The first album I listened to by them, I don't remember what it's called. I just know Nihon is somewhere in the title. It's the one that has a blue album cover with all of them looking skyward. That one just feels like you have to listen to it in the autumn or winter or something like that. Steel Gauntlets, that's not really an upgrade. It's not very exciting. But yeah, in the autumn and things like... in the autumn I tend to listen to more folksy singer-songwriter stuff. Things like the Shins or Iron and Wine will be a lot and much heavier rotation for me. I wonder what kind of armor I could order. Gauntlets, plates. Whoa, I can order ebony gauntlets? That can't be right. Like, surely I can't afford that. Yeah, that'd be 24,000. I'm sorry. What about... Yeah, this could be cool. Instead of trying to just hope to find something. We had Elven last time, so Dwarven seems appropriate. 3,000. Come back when you can afford my services. Damn it. We're at 2,000. What do we sell? Oh, Holy Tome. Yeah, we gotta find a pawn shop. Pot herbs and merchandise. The Emperor's merchandise. I wonder if that's a... It doesn't sound like it's a pawn shop, necessarily. Yeah, it's interesting to know that in this niche video game community that we have based around Daggerfall and RPGs and things like that, there are also a lot of overlapping niche musical interests. It's pretty neat. Let's see. Okay, we found one of the pawn shops, so let's go in and see if we can get enough of these sweet dwarven plate gauntlets. Can we sell our broken gloves? Yeah, they're not worth much, but it does beat selling it for nothing. We're just holding on to it or throwing it away. We got a couple books, this little bit of jewelry. Most importantly, this holy tome should, yeah, that should do it. We also have a diamond. We might as well. 3,000. Okay. We should have just enough. Something to be wary of here is if the gauntlets are too expensive, then having the money to travel across the ocean or the sea will be a little bit tricky. Where were we? It's one of these armors. I don't actually think it matters which armor we go to. We can probably get the setup in any of them, but it'll be cool to go back to the same guy we were talking to before. He's probably gonna look at us with suspicion, wondering like where we got this money from, but whatever. Gauntlets, yep. I came up with the money, bro. 3,000. Come back in. He said 3 days? I didn't mean to click through it so fast. Oh, 2 days. Okay, so here's what's going to happen. We're going to go travel to the joint, wherever we need to go to, you know, for the Thieves Guild. We're going to pick up that formal cloak. We're going to come right back and pick up our gauntlets, maybe get some training at the Thieves Guild, and then go back across the pond to meet up with our boy from the Underking. Alright, time for some good old overland travel, though. Let's double check where we are needing to go. The Greensleeve Plantation. It's just 1 day away. That's cool. Seems like a pretty far 1 day trip, but we need to go out the east path. Yeah, the tricky part, I kind of shot myself in the foot with the Q&A episode because on the one hand, I did not want to know what questions were going to be asked of me before recording it, and so to get around that, and because I wanted to have my buddy involved. I had my friend Luke act as like kind of the MC, reading your questions, and I didn't look at them until you recorded. But that means that for questions like what music do you listen to, what other games do you play, I didn't have the exhaustive list that I could have. Oh, hold up, we found a place for a kerfuffle here. These folks want a kerfuffle, do they? Hey man, we could just be friends. Trying to see if I can talk any of them. Come on, we're stronger in numbers. We don't have to do this. Oh, our stomach grumbles. I wonder if they have any food on them. Could wear that dorky little hat here. Are there any others? It's weird that we only... Oh yeah, there are plenty others. This looks like a kind of gem that we could pick up. Can we pick that up? Yoink. Okay, let's get around here. Okay, I pacified at least one of them. Alright, we got a real brawl going on here. I like it. I don't even know who my friend is, but I think it's this guy that's kind of cornered. Yeah. Oh yeah. Hell yeah, let's do it. Alright, thanks for the help there, bud. Let's see. Not really much in the way of loot that's worth carrying around. Any food? Oh, here's a little locked box on an altar. Wow, I jammed it in one shot. That's pretty neat. And they don't have any food, eh? Yeah, I don't think we found any. Let's see if this guy will trade with us. Hey, do you have anything for sale? No food, sadly. Alright, we're just gonna have to eat our rations then. Just our stamina might be pretty sloppy while we're traveling because of that. Alright. The path is so hard to see in these snowy areas. I believe we're headed down here though. The plantation. Plantation. Oh, damn it. I gotta go back. The Greensley Plantation. Yeah, let's just head straight there. Hopefully we'll survive the frigid winter here. I will travel recklessly. Does that sound like a terrible thing to do? It doesn't really change the time much, so let's just go overland normally. So today, my wife was really into the idea of deep cleaning the house. It was kind of brought on by necessity, but it meant that I had the pleasure of being on Hudson duty all day. But that's just like perfectly fine. Oh no, I'm trying to pacify them with my fist out, which isn't a good idea. We have a squad of orcs here that I want to try to kind of work on. Oh, I don't even have my bow equipped though. Yeah, but yeah, this is like the second Saturday in a row where it's just been me and Hudson throughout most of the day. Cause last Saturday my wife was working. She leaves for work. She has like one shift a week, so it's not a lot, but it gets her out of the house, gets us a little extra income. And I was kind of praising boring, terrible jobs before, and this is one of them. And sometimes it's nice just to have a reason to get out the house, especially whenever you're a young parent and you're likely to think that the world begins and ends with your child, which is not the truth, as much as it seems like it is. But anyway, last weekend, in general, whenever I'm on Hudson duty, I struggle to know exactly what we should do with the day. Like, I'm like, okay, what do we do for breakfast? What do we do for lunch and dinner? Those questions kind of stump me, and I overanalyze a bit too hard. Because I'm not Hudson's like full-time caretaker all the time, so it's not as intuitive for me what to feed him, what he's trying to tell me, and things like that, as it is for my wife. So acknowledging that weakness of mine, before I took care of Hudson, the day prior, I made a little list. I tried to be more itinerant and purposeful about what we're doing. And so I wrote what we were going to have for breakfast, for lunch, and dinner. And I've been really hooked on the idea that we need to involve our children in the routine tasks around the house, because it's good for their self-esteem and their confidence. And it's also a lot of fun. Like, it's just really adorable to watch them help out with things. Like, I drink kind of a lot of water. Like, we found another camp to mess with. That's awesome. Okay. Hopefully I'll remember to pick up that tangent. I could probably just go on now. Anyway, I drink a lot of water, and so we have a Brita build, like a Brita filter in the house. Let's try to pacify at least one of them. No? Okay, I got one of them. So now anytime I'm about to go refill my water, I instead of going straight to it, I ask Hudson if he wants to help, and he'll just put one hand on it while I pour it. But he feels like he's doing something, and so last Saturday, with that goal in mind, I made it a point to buy some stuff to make some pizzas at the house. We didn't hand make the dough or anything crazy like that, but we bought some pizza crusts, some pizza sauce, which was a surprise to me. I didn't know I would try to buy something called pizza sauce. I thought it'd be, marinara or something like that. Whatever. I'm not really a cook. Try as I might. But yeah, he got to spread the tomato sauce on his own pizza and sprinkle some cheese on it, and that dude's obsessed with cheese, so it was a really, really fun Saturday. It used to be something I was scared of, like the prospect of being with Hudson all day. Because tantrums aren't fun, fits are not fun, but like last Saturday, we did not have a single fit. He would get a little bit whiny if I would put him down whenever he didn't want to be put down, but that's just to be expected. It was really cool. You know, it's just like anything you do, the more you do it, it's like the better you'll get, and it's cool seeing those gains happening. Just the parenting gains, you know. This person had a bit of jewelry on them. That's good. And it helps that he's been like a real daddy's boy lately. He just wants to hang out and play all the time, and I'm like, all right, bro, I'm your man. Let's do it. Couldn't ask for a better buddy in all the world, man. So it's been a fun couple of weeks. We got a new Coegria dungeon here. Hell yes. Okay, I have my little document pulled up. Coegria, Demoigexia. Wow. Okay. Coegria. Demoigexia Hollow. That sounds pretty cool. I wonder what kind of stuff we'll find there. I wonder if it's on the way. That is very far south. Let's not go there yet. Maybe next time we're in the area after we've taken care of this quest from the Underking. Was this our second level up in this episode? What the hell? I guess Castle Wayrest, like, while it wasn't really a bunch of challenging enemies, we did put a lot of reps in, and like we have a lot of just combat-esque skills that got pumped up. I'm sure we got some streetwise climbing thrown in there. Yeah, it's awesome. 2 level ups in 1 episode. Okay, we got people coming around. Oh, there's a spider. I hope the Queens of Cans and Jars is okay. What if you woke up and your horse was just paralyzed, being nibbled on by... I better go check. Queen? Okay, our queen's okay. Okay, we better go ahead and rest for about 10 hours. But yeah, being itinerant and planning out my day made things like so much easier. We also, the town that we live in, it's nothing fancy. It's kind of further, it's like, let's just say it's not our ideal location. But one thing cool about our town is that there's a state park, like within 15 or 20 minutes drive, and that's just awesome. You know, I love spending time outdoors, and it's often hard to make the trip out there, you know, with a toddler in the house and things like that. But if you just dedicate some time to it and you're more itinerant about things, then yeah, long story short, we were able to go to the state park right after breakfast, before nap time, before it got like devastatingly hot, because that's the hard part about doing anything in the daytime in Texas. Like if it's actually a hazard how hot it is in some ways. Let's see. Yeah, so this park, it has a lake up at the very top of a hill, the state park. It's kind of like a nature area. It has a lake up at the top of the hill, and then all around the side of the like limestone hill, there's the lake flows into this, they call it the spillway. It's kind of like a creek or a river that goes along one side of it, and so it was fun climbing up the spillway with Hudson, and then we were able to play in the water in the spillway. You know, it was really cool. Man, I'm having a hard time staying focused on where we're going because I'm the Greensley Plantation. Yeah, sorry about that. Getting too sidetracked reminiscing. But it's just a really good day, you know. This it's crazy that the little dude hasn't even unlocked consciousness yet, you know. Like he's, of course, the memories that he experiences during this part of his life, they are still impactful. You know, this is one of many reasons why you should try to be like pay attention to your child and involve them, and overall make things good. Like I don't know how to describe it. It's almost a paradox. Like they still receive the impression of these days without, even though they won't really remember them. You know, that's why if you abuse your child in this time, they're not going to forget the fear of you. The fear stays even though the memory isn't really retained. It's kind of crazy to think about. Anyway, we're here at the plantation. I'm just really glad that we have those fantastic days like that. They're not really forgettable for me, even if they won't be retained in his memory. But maybe the impression that the day made on him will be the real gift. Okay, so this place is technically guarded, the guy said, but I know where the item is. Like, it's always going to be right here. Right? Didn't I get it? I don't really see it. Oh, there it is. Oh, it's an enchanted formal cloak. That's cool. Yeah, it wasn't really much of a... Oh, look. There's some giants here. Good luck, guards. I'm not really gonna stick around after robbing a place. Oh, poor guard. Okay, oh, okay, we don't want to hunt. I was kind of mincing words because this is a little bit embarrassing, but the reason my wife was having to do some heavy cleaning today is like we have 3 dogs and we have noticed a couple of fleas. And we're like, okay, it's not a big deal. It's probably just a fluke. We'll kill a couple of them that we see, and then that's fine. But then, like, they've all been really, really itchy. And we're not getting, like, a lot of them, but the moment, like, a flea jumps on us in the house, I'm like, okay, we have to do something. And so she's been, like, really vigorously cleaning carpets, dogs, and things like that all day. And my job during all of that is to be with Hudson, and, like, what a sweet deal, you know? She does all the hard work and I just hang out with the baby. The only difficult part there is that the air conditioning in our house doesn't really work that well. And yeah, the Hudson's playroom in particular, it's like this part of the house that was added on to like with such reckless abandon and poor workmanship. And one of the side effects of that is that there is no air conditioning or central air at all. And I guess if you're like in a different country, you might be used to living with like, oh dang, we have a gargoyle on our tail. It's weird. I know that in some places like you can get by just fine without any like central AC, but that's just kind of unheard of in Texas. Like it's I don't know, dealing without AC just feels like a death sentence. So I had a lot of fun playing with Hudson in his playroom, but like it felt like the sun was beating down on us even while we were trying to stay cool and just play around in the room. Yeah, I used to be, I don't know, I used to tolerate the heat pretty well, but it's been a challenge this time around. One thing that's been kind of it's been impeding the most is like how badly I want to form a habit of running. But you have to run before 8 a.m. and I start working at 7:45 and like I just need as much sleep as I can get. So I don't have the luxury of like having running as a regular part of my schedule. Hopefully when everything's cool down a bit, I can, because just things like running, climbing, and jumping, that's just like a huge joy for me. Here we go. You'll have to forgive me if I repeat stuff between episodes, because like I really don't remember what I've already told you about. To me, the things I've said are just ongoing truths that are at the back of my mind constantly. So I don't always keep track of if I said them. Whereas if I repeat a story to you, you're going to be like, oh, Micah already said this last episode. Anyway, all of this is to say is like my brother and I both really have gotten into running a little bit. And I want to be better than him. I really do. He's my brother. So like I owe myself that much to be better than him in the running. But like he doesn't start work until like 9 a.m. and his child is a bit further along in development. And so it's like he actually can just like be like, hey, don't, you know, die while I'm out, and he has his wife there, and so he can go running in the morning, and like I can't. I'm not gonna like sacrifice my sleep at all for it. I can't make room with my morning routine for it, so it's just like, damn, I'll see you in the winter, buddy. But hey, my brother just got his first sub 7 mile, which is pretty good. Like we're kind of shorter guys, and like while we both work out quite a bit, running and speed have never really been our strong suit. I think whenever I was into running, I used to run a mile before every workout, back whenever I worked out in a gym. I think I got to like beneath 7 on a treadmill a couple of times, but running on a treadmill is not very satisfying in my opinion, and I feel like it's easier to get really good numbers on a treadmill than whenever you're pushing earth beneath you for some reason. Perhaps that's personal bias. gonna carry some raw meat with us, but I don't think it'll be very helpful. We're running into a lot of encounters here. Oh, dude, we just trampled this wolf. Look at you go, Queen. That's awesome. It's nice to do a little bit of guild grinding. It's we don't really have the luxury of sticking around in Coagria for another Thieves Guild quest, though it would be nice. Oh, you know, we do need to probably wait around until our gauntlets are ready. I don't know. We've rested a bit out here. I think a couple of nights have passed. In the other Elder Scrolls titles, it is super convenient that you don't have to wait around on like your gauntlets to be ready. You know, you just press the button and it gets repaired. Assuming you're going to a shop or something. Wait, I'm starving, you say? No, I have rations. I'm not starving. But I might as well set up camp just to cook. I have so many camps. So many uses left between these two. Yeah, let's go ahead and cook some raw meat. So even if I have rations, I'm sure I'd want a hot meal instead. Anyway, I know I say I like a bunch of dumb stuff about Daggerfall, but I find myself able to like the whole you have to wait for this repair to be done because it reminds you that you're not this person's only customer. It creates a tiny splash of realism in this game that is often called a simulator of sorts, so that's cool. But it comes back to the idea of liking to hunker down in video games in general. And so it's like, well, if it's going to take 2 days for these gauntlets to be ready, sure, you can go and just like wait. And that's perfectly fine. I'm pretty sure we've done that before in this series. But how much cooler is it to just have like a little extra episode of your character's adventures tacked onto it, you know? I really like that about the deadlines for quests, about when are you know, the delay for repairs, things like that. It really, I just like that. I like that time is a thing in this game. I guess that's all I'm trying to say. Yeah, let's go ahead and pick up these gauntlets. Let's turn in our quest. I think we'll go back to Sentinel, and I don't know. Well, I guess getting that quest would be a good place to end the episode. Keep things kind of focused. Alright, pick up order. Alright. New gauntlets. Let's go. Yeah, so I'm a bit torn because let's just go to Sentinel. Travel by ship. Go ahead. Oh yeah, the food's getting a bit ripe. Did I not eat? Yeah, I didn't eat one of them. Man, guys, I remembered to get the gauntlets, but I forgot to turn in the damn Thieves Guild quest. Just whenever I was in my rant about how nice it is to hunker down and have a routine schedule somewhere. Oops. That's my bad. So, little reputation hit from the Thieves Guild. I wish we got to keep the magic item, but I don't think that we're gonna be so lucky. Let's see if we have another casual cloak to put on to protect us from the sun. There we go. I don't know if video games did this to me or if this has been just a trait in my life kind of consistently, but I found out at some point that I really like making side quests happen for people. Not just like in Dungeons and Dragons, but just, I don't know, the basic things throughout the day. One sec, let me go ahead and take a look and make sure we're going to the right spot. We're going to the Savage Guard Inn. We're gonna Savage Guard Inn. Pretty sure we just need to go along this road, yeah, to the west. Yeah, I mentioned the side quest thing because I don't know what possessed me to do this, but whenever my wife was graduating from college, her parents rented out this little cabin in East Texas where we went to college, and I guess killing some boars here would be good, so we'll have some food to eat on the road. So this this cabin had like a bunch of dead animals all over, like taxidermy stuffed animals, all over the place. And I don't know, there was something about the rustic aesthetic and all the animals that kind of possessed me to write a story, I guess, about the situation, or like a narrative started forming in my mind just by looking around me, I should say. Let's get the smelly meat. Let's go ahead and get this boar also. Yeah, so I started piecing together this narrative about this family and how they like to hunt a lot, and basically the oldest people in the family would, for some reason, turn into animals and ended up getting like hunted. And then so the taxidermy animals that you see around you were supposed to be, according to the story that was taking place in my mind, the people who, I guess the older people in previous generations who would have owned this lot of land in the little cabin. Just walked past some thieves that we could have fought, but you know what? We've fought a lot of thief hideouts today. We're drinking from our water skin a lot. Am I too hot because of the cloak? It's tricky. You want to dress as lightly as possible, but the sun will burn your bare skin if you're shirtless, so maybe just a shirt will do. We're stopping in Lanisa here to pick up a meal, maybe some ale, cool off a bit. Anyway, wife's graduation party. We were, while we were in the little ceremony, I was, you know, have you been to a graduation ceremony? It takes forever, right? And you're mostly there for one person, and there are hundreds, if not thousands of others that you're kind of having to wait around for and celebrate as well. It's a very exhausting ordeal for everyone, really. While we were sitting there, I was just kind of jotting down stuff to basically become a scavenger hunt that we would put inside the lodge for her family to go, like, follow around. I don't know what was even the end of this. I don't remember. Perhaps it was just like the gifts I bought my wife, but everybody was doing it. It was just, you'd get a clue about, that would tell you about where the next clue is. It was always some scrap of paper talking about someone in the family. And so I was building this lore around it, and it was also just giving people something fun to do while hanging out. The idea of a scavenger hunt sounds very cheesy, but then whenever one's around you, it's like, oh, I could actually get into this and get kind of intrigued by what you're going to find and things like that. At least that's how this one worked. Later on, whenever I was a teacher, there's this kid who, he went around, I guess he came into my class one time. All right, let me back up. He came into my class one time and was like, hey, Mr. Doyle, can I go around and like collect lichen and come bring it to you like it's a quest? And I'm like, yeah, sure, kiddo. Bless his heart. And then later on, my buddy Harry from across the hall is a teammate of mine. And okay, I don't need to get into it too much. Anyway, Harry tells me that the kid says that I assigned the quest to him, and he's like, hey, go get all this lichen you can and bring it back to me whenever you have 20. So even though the kid proposed it to me to be his own little side quest, he made it seem to Harry like I was giving him the side quests. And I'm like, I'm flattered that you want my attention like this. It's cool, but like, what the hell at the same time? It's a weird thing to lie about, to make up stories about. But most recently, on my wife's birthday, we don't go all out for our birthdays usually. It's just kind of an event that happens once a year. But I like to buy gifts for people whenever I can, and you know, she's the love of my life. I should buy stuff for her. The idea behind a good gift, I think, is something nice that somebody would not usually pay for themselves. And that's usually clothes in this house. So I just bought her a bunch of clothes and hid them in different areas of the house. And every time she found a piece of clothing, it would have like a hint about where the next piece of clothing was. So I think I just have something in my DNA that makes me want to give out side quests. I'm kind of curious about what kind of side quests I'll be able to come up with for Hudson as he gets older. We already do it a little bit. Like we will, whenever we get a new present for Hudson, we try to hide it, and it's always fun giving him like kind of watching it all unfold before his eyes. I guess he could count doing chores around the house as a side quest for Hudson too, because that's what chores really are, right? They seem like we call them chores, but they're really just like little side quests for us to do. Side objectives. A quest is really an objective at the end of the day, right? Look at this coastline, by the way. This is actually awesome. Let me go ahead and check on where we are relative to the Savage. Okay, just gonna keep on keeping on then. One sort of ongoing side quest. Do we have any food? Oh, dude, I forgot to cook the meat. Let's just set up the camp real quick and cook one of our boar meat. Yeah, I guess this ties in with our conversation about music as well as side quests. I used to be really bad about collecting hobbies. Like I'd spread myself too thin with all the things I want to do between like role playing, video games, things for my job, or you know, whenever I was less settled into where my career path was, I was trying programming while also studying for CompTIA exams for being a tech support sort of thing. I was all over the place, but one of the hobbies I picked up was playing the acoustic guitar. During the pandemic in particular, I had a lot of time to play the guitar. I mean, I have an electric one, it's really cheap, and I know how to play it, but there's something about an acoustic guitar, man. It's just like, very soulful, and it's surprisingly simple once you get down the fundamentals. So I'm really fond of, there's a merchant here, let's see what he's got. Oh, he's got a couple of magical items. That's not of interest to us necessarily. But yeah, I'm pretty fond of playing stuff by like Simon and Garfunkel, or I mentioned the Shins as some of my favorite fall time music, and they're also just a lot of their songs are at the right like low skill level, but fun user engagement that makes me want to play their music. Not all of them are super easy. But I remember one method of practicing I had was we found an encampment. Yeah, let's take this encampment. Anyway, one method of practice I had was the album Shoots Too Narrow by the Shins. I would just try to learn how to play the whole thing. And that was pretty fun. I still know the chords by heart to a lot of them. Same for the riffs on a couple of those that have relevant riffs, but I just really like playing the guitar and singing along with it. I'm not really good at creating the good rhythm to go along with it, but it's a lot of fun. The Mountain Goats, also another really great band for just like sitting around and strumming your guitar. We got a couple pieces of meat from this. This is a pretty good haul. And things like the best death metal band ever, or what's it called? The best ever death metal band out of Denton. It has a cute little variation that you do on the D chord while playing it that makes you feel like you know how to play guitar. It's just a lot of fun. If I were like really serious about dedicating a lot of time to playing the guitar, I'd have to learn how to do like some really complex finger picking, like what you hear in Simon and Garfunkel and Jim Croce and things like that. Let's get our cloak on. I do a sort of basic finger picking thing now, but it's nothing like if I actually look up a song and try to learn how to finger pick it, I'm just instantly out of my element because I'm not disciplined in my practice and I don't have like a game plan for how to get good enough to do that. I just kind of like mess around with the strings. Sometimes that's like a source of disappointment for me that I'm not better at it, but I'm also unwilling to commit the time to get really, really good at the guitar. And you know what, man? Just being able to sing a song once in a while to my kid or to myself, it's often like I'm bored at night, so let's sing a song. Like that's a good feeling, even if you're not, you know, a virtuoso or a prodigy or something like that. I think my mediocrity is serving me pretty dang well. It's been nice to have another moment of like traveling over the land from place to place. We're about to meet the contact for the Underking and call it a wrap. I think he's in a residence. Let's see, at the Moorheart residence. Let's go check it out. It must be a woman this time, because we've got the classic green lady right here. Good day, Bogart. My name is Varcher. I must admit that I am surprised to see you. Are you perhaps able to help the Underking in an endeavor against the Necromancers? We will reward you liberally for this service and provide information you will probably not be able to find elsewhere. Oh man, am I about to softlock myself? Hold up. I get the feeling... So we have a quest from the King of Worms that does not have a deadline. But this is like a reputation thing. I'm worried that if I do this quest too soon, I won't be able to complete the quest for the King of Worms, and that would cause issues for us. It's kind of too late to turn back though, right? Because if I say no, the quest is just rejected, right? You know what? I think we're probably fine. Let's just go for it. You will. Remarkable. The Necromancers have taken an item of ours, a dagger of some value. Dagger with a capital D. It's important dagger. The value is of secondary concern. The true problem is that they cursed this item and gave it to the Blades. If you are unaware, the Blades were once the honor guard for Tiber Septim. Today they are loyal to the Empire and Tiber Septim's code, but not always to the current Emperor. The Underking has reason to not wish harm upon the Blades. We want you to infiltrate Castle Ligwich in Ecolon and remove the dagger. Please have this done within 329 days if you want your information and your reward. So we have nearly a year to get this done, and the dungeon itself is pretty scary, but we're pretty strong, so I'm not usually as hesitant about approaching Castle Ligwich this time around. I think we'll still be fine if we complete this quest and then go to the King of Worms, because we're technically, I think, already begun his quest. I don't even know if that's correct, but I sure hope it works out. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and let me show you where we're headed actually. So we are way down here in Sentinel, and he asks us to go to, or she asks us to go to Ecolon, which is way up north, and we are specifically going to Castle, here it goes, Castle Ligwich, which is pretty close to the capital of Ecolon, so we will probably travel up here to this city, and this city will be like our home base as we make excursions toward the dungeon, which can be quite perilous. Anyway, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and all of that fun stuff. And Bogart and I will see you next time. Take care.